हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल ओमनी ज्ञान। मेरे चैनल ओमनी ज्ञान में आप सब लोगों का फिर से बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल पोम कॉल्ड फादर टू सन, written by Elizabeth Jennings. Okay, and this is in the English syllabus of class 11 MBOSE and CBSE as well. And as usual, I am going to do here a line by line explanation for all of you. Okay, so without any further delay, let us start the explanation. ओके, सो लेट्स फर्स्ट हैव एन इंट्रोडक्शन टू द पोएम। ओके, ठीक है, थोड़ा सा इंट्रोडक्शन देख लेते। पोएम किस बारे में है एक्चुअली? ओके, व्हाट इज द पोएम ऑल अबाउट? सो द पोएम टॉक्स अबाउट अ टेंस रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन अ फादर एंड हिज सन। तो ये पोएम जो है ये एक फादर और सन के बीच के एक कॉम्प्लेक्स रिलेशनशिप को शो करता है। इट शोज अ कॉम्प्लेक्स रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द फादर एंड द सन। ओके, now there's a lot of misunderstanding between them and they are unable to communicate properly. So father और son के बीच, between the father and the son, there is a lot of misunderstanding and that is why they are not able to communicate properly with one another. ठीक है, तो father और son के बीच बहुत misunderstanding है। जो भी उसका रीजन हो, whatever the reason may be, it is not stated in the poem in the beginning. Initially it is not stated in the poem. Slowly we will learn about that. But whatever the misunderstanding is that, but there has been a distance between the father and the son. Okay, father और son के बीच एक distance create हो गया है. So here you see the son feels distant and behaves like a stranger to his father. So generally a father and a son is supposed to be, a son is supposed to respect his father, a father is supposed to love his son. But when there is a gap, okay, when there is a distance, what happens is that father and son cannot communicate. The same is here also in this poem. सन जो है अपने आप को डिस्टेंट फील करता है और अपने पिता के साथ एक स्ट्रेंजर जैसा बिहेव करता है। ही बिहेव्स लाइक एज इफ ही इज अ स्ट्रेंजर अननोन टू हिज फादर। ठीक है, now we will learn in detail about the poem stanza by stanza, line by line. So I would request all of you, I would ask all of you to keep the textbook in front of you. Okay, because while I explain I will not be able to roll back to this page. ठीक है, तो टेक्स्ट बुक आप अपने पास रखिए। स्टैंजा 1, I do not understand this child, though we have lived together now in the same house for years. I know nothing of him, so try to build up a relationship from how he was when small, yet I have killed. So the next line will continue. Okay, let us see the explanation of this first stanza. Okay, so the explanation of the first stanza. Now the speaker of this first stanza is the father. Okay, so here the father is actually speaking. Now you see, in the first stanza the father talks about his relationship with his son. So the whole first stanza is the speaker in this whole first stanza is the father, and here in this stanza the father is talking about, introducing about his relationship with his son. He says that they have lived together, father and son. Okay, they have lived together in the same house for many years. तो पिता ये कहता है, फादर ये कहता है कि मैं और मेरा बेटा हम एक ही घर में एक साथ बहुत सालों से हम रहे हैं. We have been living together in the same house for many years. Still, he feels that he does not really understand his son. He here is the father. Okay, he यहाँ पे father है. So the father feels that he does not really understand his son. तो पिता कहता है कि इतने सालों हम एक ही घर में रहे. For so many years we have been living together in the same house, but I still do not understand my son properly. मैं अभी तक अपने बेटे को ठीक से समझ नहीं पाया हूँ. What are his likes? What are his dislikes? Okay, I have not been able to understand. The father is telling. He does not know what his son likes or dislikes. तो पिता ये कहता है कि I actually do not know what my son likes or what my son dislikes. See, a father is expected to know that what his son likes, what his son does not like. But here the father actually does not know that उसके बेटे को क्या पसंद है, क्या नहीं पसंद है. ठीक है. The poet tried to build a close relationship with his son since he was very small. So, you see, when the son was a small kid, a small child, जब बेटा छोटा था, the poet, that is the father. Okay, poet here is the father. The father had tried to build a very strong, very close, very loving relationship with his son when he was a small child. But now, when his son has grown up, his son has changed and his son has become different. His son is no more that small child. His son does not now behave like that small child, playing with his father, talking to his father, spending time with his father. His son does not do that now because he has grown up. So his son has changed and his son has become different now. So the father is telling that my son, after growing up, my son seems that he is unknown to me. He has become a stranger to me. वो एक अनजान इंसान बन चुका है मेरे लिए। ऐसा लगता है कि मैं उसे जानता ही नहीं हूँ। कोई बाहर का आदमी है वो, कोई बाहर का लड़का है वो। It seems like that, okay? He is an outsider. My son is an outsider. Now we learn stanza 2. The seed I spent or sown it where the land is and none of mine. We speak like strangers. There is no sign of understanding in the air. This child is built to my design, yet what he loves I cannot share. Let us see the explanation of stanza 2. In this stanza, the father feels responsible for the communication gap between him and his son. See here, look at the father. The father is not blaming his son. The father is taking the responsibility on him that today I do not talk to my son, or today if my son is not talking to me, it is because of me only. Maybe there was some problem with my behavior with him. That is why there has been a communication gap between me and my son. You're getting the point? The father is not blaming his son. The father feels that he himself is responsible for this communication gap between him and his son. So the father thinks, a father thinks about the bond he once tried to build with his son and wonders what went wrong. So even the father also does not know that what was my, where was I at fault? What was my fault? मेरी गलती यहाँ कहाँ था कि आज मेरे बेटे के साथ where was my fault that today my son and I, we have such a big communication gap. So even the father wonders that what went wrong? क्या गलत हो गया कि आज मेरा बेटा जो है that today my son does not talk to me properly, behaves like a stranger. So he thinks about the past bonding that he had with his son. And now when his son does not talk to him, he is wondering, he's trying to find an answer. What went wrong? क्या गलत हो गया? Okay. The father feels whether he had killed this seed of relationship or had sown it in a land of or world which only belonged to his son. Now try to understand this, okay? The father feels that whether it was he himself, whether it was the father himself who had killed this seed of relationship. That means the father is feeling that whether it was my mistake that I had actually spoiled the relationship. All right. And now my son has gone into such a world which is not mine. I do not have any entry in his world. My son is in a different land, is in a different world, and my son does not give me entry in his own world, in his own land. That world only belongs to his son. See, I'll just break down this meaning for you with an example, and you'll be able to understand. Say, for example, I, come home and my father is sitting. So definitely I will share with him so many things. Say I work in a company. So whatever happens in that company with me, okay, my boss, the behavior of my boss, or if there is any party in my office, I'll definitely come. When I come back home, I'll share with my father that, father, today these things happened in my office. My boss has praised me for my hard work. So we share, right? But here the son does not do so. The son does not share anything. He belongs to his own world. He has created a land. The son has created a land. The son has created a different world only for himself. And father does not have any entry. Same example. I come home and my father asks me, "Hey, today you came from your office. You were late. Okay. What made you late? Okay. Why were you late in coming home? What happened?" is there any problem? And I don't talk to my father. I don't reply to him. I straight away, go into my room. So my father is not able to participate in my, in my day-to-day life. I have separated my father. So in the same way, this son has also separated his father, and he has created a different world for himself, and he does not let his father enter his world. Okay? So the father is questioning whether he himself destroyed that bond, or if it never grew because his son's world is now different from his world. Okay? Now, father feels that whether father himself had destroyed that bond due to some mistake which even the father does not know. पिता ये फील करता है कि क्या ये मेरी गलती थी? क्या मेरी वजह से ये बॉन्ड खराब हो गया, ये बॉन्डिंग खराब हो गया, या ये बॉन्डिंग कभी था ही नहीं? Whether I have destroyed this bonding with my son, or this bonding was a fake bonding, was a false bonding, or this bonding had never been there. Okay, because my son does not talk to me now. My son has gone in a different land, in a different world. All right. There is no proper understanding between them, which makes their conversations very difficult. See, when there is a communication gap, there cannot be any conversation. If I have a communication gap with my father, due to whatever reason, I will never be able to talk to my father. So, there is proper understanding. The son does not understand the father does not understand the son, the father does not understand the likes and his dislikes. And that is why the son also does not talk to him. And that is why their conversations, they do not talk to one another. Their talking to one another is difficult. Okay. The father knows his son is like him because he carries his genes and was raised in his way. Obviously, you see, when we are born, we get qualities of our father and mother. So the father knows that he is my son, and my son is like me only because my gene, my blood is in him, and I raised my son. Right? Who raises us? Our father, our mother, they raise us, right? So the father is also sure that he is my son only, and he carries my gene, and he was raised by me. I looked after him. Now he has grown up, okay, because of me. But what happened suddenly that my son is not talking to me? Now they cannot talk freely with each other and behave like strangers. I have already told you, I need not explain you this. They cannot talk freely now. They talk like strangers. Yet now the father feels they have nothing in common. Obviously, father's way of life has become different. Son's way of life has become different. They do not talk to one another. They behave like strangers. So they have nothing in common with one another. Say, my father was a tea lover and I was like him. I was also a tea lover. So there are many things that was common between I and my father. But here you see that this father does not have anything in common with his son. He finds it hard to discuss or share the things his son enjoys. Now the father does not, cannot share anything with his son because his son is not ready to listen to his father. ठीक है, अगर पिता कुछ शेयर भी करना चाहता है, if son wants to share also something with his, if the father wants to share also something with his son, he is not able to do so because his son does not want to listen to his father. ठीक है? We move on to stanza 3. Silence surrounds us. I would have him prodigal, returning to his father's house, the home he knew, rather than see him make and move his world. I would forgive him too, shaping from sorrow a new love. Now there is a communication gap between them that creates an uncomfortable silence whenever they are together. If you look at the first line, silence surrounds us. So you see, when father and son are sitting together, there is silence. There is no talking. And this silence is very uncomfortable silence. Just imagine, I come home, my father is sitting, in the drawing room. I come and sit. I'm watching TV. Father is reading newspaper, and we don't talk to one another. There is a very uncomfortable silence. Okay, so the same thing is happening here also. Due to this communication gap, there is a silence, and this silence is very uncomfortable whenever the father and the son are together. He wants his son to feel free to use his money and stay comfortably at home. Now here you see that prodigal means somebody who spends a lot. Somebody who spends a lot, okay? Spending freely. So the father actually wants that. Father is telling here that I want my son because my money is his money. My property is his property. So I want my son to feel free to use my money and stay comfortably at home or spend my money the way he likes. ठीक है, मैं चाहता हूँ कि जो भी मेरा पैसा है वो मेरे बेटे का ही है और मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरा बेटा जो है वो इस पैसे को लेके कुछ भी करे. मैं उसको ये फ्रीडम दूंगा. आई विल गिव दिस फ्रीडम टू माई सन टू यूज माई मनी द वे ही लाइक्स एंड स्टे कंफर्टेबली एट होम. ठीक है, तो ही इज रेडी टू सैक्रिफाइस दिस थिंग ऑल्सो. He will never ask his son. If his son asks that, Father, I need 5,000 rupees today. So father here in a way is trying to tell us this. I'll just give an example as if father is trying to tell that if tomorrow my son asks, Father, please give me 5,000 rupees. I'll give son 5,000 rupees instantly without even asking him for what will you need, for what do you need this 5,000 rupees. क्यों चाहिए तुम 5,000 रुपये तुम्हें? ये मैं उससे पूछूंगा भी नहीं. My son has asked, I will give him. बट दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट हैपनिंग हियर. वो भी तो नहीं हो रहा है. मेरा बेटा मुझसे कुछ बात ही नहीं करता है. ही डज नॉट आस्क ऑल्सो एनीथिंग फ्रॉम मी दैट फादर आई वांट दिस, आई वांट दैट. कुछ भी नहीं, बस साइलेंस. देयर इज ओनली साइलेंस, अनकंफर्टेबल साइलेंस. The father wishes that his son would live with him instead of moving away and having his own house. So father had felt that maybe son is planning to take a house, separate house somewhere else. And the son is planning to move away to that house, leaving his father all alone. So father has felt maybe his son is planning to do so. So his father is wishing that his son will live with him forever in that same house instead of moving away to some other house or having his own house. तो पिता नहीं चाहता कि बेटा जो है कोई और घर ले और वहाँ पे जाके रहे. वो चाहते हैं, he wants that मेरा बेटा जो है परमानेंटली इसी घर में हम एक साथ रहे, so that we stay together in this house only forever. As a father, he is ready to forgive his son for all the mistakes and sadness of the past. तो पिता ने कहा कि जिसका भी गलती हो, whether it is my fault, my mistake or my son's mistake, if it is my mistake, I am ready to rectify myself also. If it is my son's mistake, I am ready to forgive my son also for all the mistakes and sadness of the past. Past में जो भी mistake मेरे बेटे ने किया है, whatever mistake my son has done in the past, I am ready to forgive all this thing. But at least let my son, he's praying, he's wishing that let my son and I, again, once again, we forget all the distances, communication gaps, and again we start talking to one another and live the rest of the life, live peacefully in this house. He wants to start fresh. The father is telling that I want to start afresh. I want to start this father and son relationship in a fresh way and build a new loving relationship with my son. तो फिर से दोबारा वो शुरू करना चाहते हैं ये रिलेशनशिप and build a very loving relationship with his son once again. He is wishing, he wants that very passionately. Stanza 4, father and son, we both must live. Father and son, we both must live on the same globe and the same land. He speaks, I cannot understand myself. Why anger grows from grief? We each put out an empty hand, longing for something to forgive. The father and son are destined to live in the same world. Obviously, this is the fact, right? पिता और बेटा जो है, the father and son, they will have to live in the same world, on the same earth, on the same land. Yet, you see, they are so emotionally apart from one another. They feel emotionally apart from one another. They have no emotional relationship between one another. The son says he cannot understand himself or why his sadness turns into anger. अब यहाँ पे बेटा बोल रहा है कि अब for the first time the son is speaking. Okay, पहली बार बेटा बात कर रहा है. The whole poem is from the father's perspective. Now here in this line he speaks. Here this is son. अब son बात कर रहा है. For the first time we hear the son speaking. So the son says that I cannot understand myself. That why my sadness turns into anger. The son is telling that I am not angry with my father, but I am sad. Okay, and sometimes my sadness converts into anger. Why? Even the son does not understand this. मैं फिर से एक बार explain करता हूँ आपको. If you have understood, please skip. Okay, otherwise you listen. Son is telling for the first time. From now we see this from the son's perspective. अभी हम son के view point से देखेंगे ये. Son is telling that Even I am not able to understand that why am I angry. Actually, I am not angry, I am sad. Whatever the reason is, but I am sad. And the problem with me is that this sadness actually becomes my anger. मैं अपने sadness को anger में convert कर लेता हूँ. ये by chance हो जाता है. It happens by chance. It is not that I am doing it intentionally, but it happens by chance and I am not able to understand the reason for it. Now, both father and son feel lonely and helpless. See, it is not that it is only the father who wants that both father and son should live together, should reunite. It is not only father who wishes. The son also feels. The son also feels lonely and helpless. The son also wants to establish a very good, cordial father and son relationship with his father. Okay, but there is something that is not allowing them to talk to one another properly. So both father and son feel helpless and lonely. They reach out to each other with empty hands because they have nothing to give one another except for except for bitter, sorrowful experience. Neither father has any happy thing to tell his son, neither son has any happy thing to tell his father. Okay, so that is why they come to one another with empty hands. So finally, the father and the son are ready to unite. Okay, so they, extend their hands, uh, come near one another, and they show that they both want love and connection. So दोनों ही father and son both want love and connection. They both want that, again, let us build a strong relationship with each other. Deep down, they both wish to forgive each other and rebuild their broken relationship. So I told you it is not only the father, but also here now we see for the first time that the son also wants that I want to build a very good relationship with my father. I want to forgive and forget everything that happened in the past. Past में जो भी हुआ मैं उसे भूल जाना चाहता हूँ. मैं अभी मेरे पिता के साथ, फादर के साथ एक बहुत अच्छा रिलेशनशिप रीबिल्ड करना चाहता हूँ. I want to rebuild that broken relationship in a fresh manner. Okay, so that is the end of the poem. And the time you complete this, studying this video, you'll find the notes available on the internet. The important questions available on the internet means on my website. Okay, omnigyan.net. ठीक है, तो नोट्स भी मैंने दे रखा है, आप वहां पे जाके नोट्स देख लीजिए. Important questions and answers I have given because you do not have sufficient questions and answers available on the internet, and even on in your book also. So I have given some extra questions and answers, important questions and answers, which will be very beneficial for you for your board exams, final exams, annual exams. Okay, anyways, so with that, I would like to request all of you to subscribe to the channel, like and share my videos, and please like the video after you watch the video. As I always tell you, like gives me a lot of motivation. Okay, and subscribe to the channel. Please do not only watch the video, subscribe also. Okay, and follow me on Instagram. Okay, whenever I upload any new video, I always put the notification on Instagram story especially. And this is my website. You can scan the code, and all the important links are given in the description box also. You can go and check it out from there also. Okay, so with that, I would like to end the video. Thank you so much for giving me so much love, supporting me so much. With love from Omni Gyan, and all the best to all of you. Thank you so much.